Um, Never before has there been such light greeted. Such. Oh God, this has started badly. Gaia, you do it. Never before have I been so pleased to take the Keys of Marinus off my shelf and pop it in my DVD player of choice and fire up this classic fifth story of Doctor Who. And so therefore what I may say will be coloured by the fact that everybody could move again, and we felt as if we were getting the full force of Doctor Who as was back in the day. So it's perhaps wise for me to temper that joy by just trying to pick holes in this story, which is deeply unfair, but let's do it anyway. First of all, Terry Nation, woo. And let's go over what we find difficult about Terry Nation. It's all just so big and broad and bleak and black and white, quite literally in this case. And how strange. Which Doctor Who story am I describing here? Our four intrepid travellers land on a planet where there is no life, or seemingly there is in fact some life. We're in a landscape whereby there are natural threats, and there is a remarkable building that has been constructed. Our intrepid crew become trapped in this building, and are denied access to the Titan. Well, no, okay. Basically, what I'm saying is that, in broad terms, this is a dead ring for the Daleks to begin with, anyway. Even from the dead planet to the Sea of Death. But there we go. So it's a bit of a downer to be on another alien planet, yet for it to be pretty similar to the last alien planet that we saw. That's a bit of a shame. But there we go, not to complain. Our four regulars are on good form. Hartnell managed to screw up his lines with absolute glory. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you'll know them all. But saying that the sea's not frozen because A, it wouldn't be frozen at this temperature, and B, it's too warm. And for telling Ian off for saying that he should be prepared because if he'd had his shoes on, he could have lent Susan hers. Libby is finding Hartnell difficult to get on with, and I think it's things like that that cause her difficulties. Perhaps if you're a Doctor Who fan, you give him a bit more leeway with stuff like that. I like it. I think it's good, and whether or not he's doing it on purpose or not, I don't know. But the rest of the cast, you get a tangible sense the rest of the cast have really fell for it now, and they like the fact they're working with this guy who, either by choice or by the nature of who he is cocking up or not. I think it's nice. If you buy into it, then the Doctor's a fallible old fella. And at this stage, of course, in history, that's all we know about him, really. We don't know that he can be anything else than a fallible old fella, apart from all the other wonderful things that he is. But you take my drift. Anyway, our new rival to the Daleks. This is, of course, the first time we've had the new rival to the Daleks. The Vord are pathetic, because they're probably men in suits. They're probably men in suits, in which case they're just men. Okay. There's at least two stagehand appearances with doors flinging open and closed. And if this wasn't so dark, it'd be a farce. People, as in the proper, sense of doors opening, that they appear, that they disappear, whatever else. The fact that Susan can't see this rubber-suited man with a silly hat on before, and oh dear, I mean, even it stretches incredulity to think that she would walk down a corridor and not see him, then turn around just at the right moment to not see him, then to be attacked by him. Yeah, okay. And then to have our arbiter, who again comes across similar to Hartnell. You feel as if he's just stretching his dialogue around in whatever way his tongue sees fit at that particular moment. But it's got a bit of charisma, and to be frank, Marco Polo aside, because it's difficult to tell, he's got more character than I think any other individual has had so far. We'll put Marco Polo to one side because it's always difficult. I think by this point we've started to get some decent calibre of actor to play against our intrepid crew. Then, of course, we get the setup, which is that we're going to be dotting around Marinus, collecting keys, the keys of Marinus. And that's a bit peculiar, only in so much as we've got this magnificent vehicle that can take you anywhere in the universe, and then Terry Nation manages to construct a way that he won't be using that magnificent vehicle. He'll use his little watches, which already we start to see will become... Are they MacGuffins? I don't know if they're MacGuffins. I never feel comfortable using that term. But essentially they're going to become indicators for whether or not somebody... You know, the cliffhanger is we've found Barbara's thingy. It's got blood on it. Eek. So... Okay, let's be generous. It's great to be back with movement, but that's nothing to do with Terra Nation or the programme at the time it was making. It's nice to be on another alien planet. It's such a shame it's such a dead ring for the last one we were on, at the moment, anyway, it's fair to say. And the actors, Ian, Barbara and the Doctor, we'll let Susan ride their coattails for the time being, are bringing a bit of life to proceedings, and we've got an actor who unfortunately gets killed at the end of the first episode, who seems to bring a bit of a buzz and a spark to it as well. The Vorder tat and the general concepts seem to be a little bit clumsy again because it's Terra Nation, but there we go. Back on track. We're moving. It's good. There's my cat. She just jumped over. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.